Assalamualaikum and greetings everyone. We will continue with another topic for this subject, Educational Technology Foundation and Research. Your instructor for today is me, Dr. Nurul Farhana binti Jumaat. I'm from School of Education, Faculty of Social Sciences and Humanities, UTM. We will continue with another interesting topic for this subject, which is research in educational technology. For your information, the slides were created by Prof. Dr. Zaidatun binti Tasir, who is also one of the instructors for this subject. Without a doubt, digital technology has become a central aspect of education, inherently affecting all aspects of the student's learning experience. So for today's topic, we will discuss thoroughly on some of the research trends in educational technology. As we can see, research in educational technology usually look into the impact of educational technology towards students' learning or the impact of educational technology towards the process. So what does it mean between these two? If the research is focused on the impact of educational technology on students' learning outcomes, it usually focuses on the impact or the effect of a technology-based product on students' performance and understanding in learning. Meanwhile, if the research focuses on the impact toward the process, it is actually looking more into the learning process, like students' way of learning, students' learning behavior, and etc. Now let's have a look on the literature review on the impact of digital technology on learning and teaching. So for Table 1, it represents a profile of studies conducted by previous research that intended to see on the number of studies conducted based on few areas. If we look into detail, we found that there are a lot of studies, hundreds of studies fall within the area of raising attainment. It means that there are a lot of studies being conducted by researchers in educational technology field that look into the impact towards students' learning outcomes. However, only 9 studies out of 217 studies that look into the impact of digital technology towards enhancing parental engagement. So this is a very interesting figure if we can conclude it. Let's have a look on table 4. So this table is a summary of meta-analysis studies that published between 2000 and 2012. From this table, we can summarize that there are a lot of studies that look into the impact of digital technology towards literacy, primarily on students' reading skills and comprehension, writing, accelerated reader, standardized reading tests, and so on. We can see that researchers interested to know the impact of technology towards language or literacy skills among the students. If we look into another data, we see that only few studies that study on the impact of technology towards mathematics and science learning. This is a very interesting fact. So in the future, researchers should focus more on research that look into how technology can assist students in these two subjects. We look into Table 5, a summary of quality of evidence for each thematic area. Based on this review provides conclusive evidence that digital technologies can support educational attainment in general and improvement in numeracy or mathematics and also in science learning. This review also provides indicative evidence that digital technology can support educational attainment in literacy, and closing the gap in attainment between group of learners. And last but not least, it provides promising evidence that digital technologies can provide assistance to overcoming the challenges faced by some learners, improvement in employability skills and knowledge of career pathways, improve communication with parents, and time efficiencies for the teachers. There are three types of research in educational technology, namely design-based research, evaluation research, and also education research. So what is design-based research? Design-based research, or known as DBR, is an appropriate method for small-scale educational research projects involving collaboration between teachers, students, and also researchers. It is particularly useful in collaborative projects where an intervention is implemented and evaluated in a grounded context. This is a design-based research model by McKinney and Reeves in 2012. The squares represent the three core phases, which are a flexible, interactive structures. These phases include investigation, design, and also evaluation. The dual focus on theory and practice is represented by the rectangles, which represent the scientific and practical outputs respectively. It indicates a single integrated research and design process. The trapezium at the top is an indication that the model is use-inspired. Implementation and spread that interaction with practice is present from the beginning of the process and that it gradually increases as time passes. These are the example of research questions if you want to conduct a design-based research. First one, research questions that deal with the development of theories or proto-theories of learning. Second one, research questions that deal with the interactions of an intervention and the authentic setting. Third one, research questions that deal with how an intervention causes the desired outcome. Last one is development questions that deal with how an intervention can be improved. There are two types of data that we usually found in educational technology research. The first one is quantitative data and the second one is qualitative data. We usually found quantitative data if we measure the impact of educational technology towards the efficacy of the tool in teaching students, the end user's interaction with the system, and also the usability. The efficacy is generally measured in terms of knowledge gain, while the usability studies are concerned primarily with the functionality of the device, regardless of whether or not learning objectives are being met. So here we see another example of quantitative data that we usually found in educational technology research, like students' performance, students' motivation, students' perceptions, students' learning path. This type of quantitative data we usually found from the log files. And students' profile like user registration data, web log data, learning behavior data, and learning content preference data. Besides that, quantitative data also can be found if researchers look into students' critical thinking level, students' self-regulated learning skills, students' creativity skills, and also students' social presence. I want to explain further about students' profile. What is students' profile? Because I've mentioned earlier that we can actually find this type of data if we look into quantitative data of any educational technology research. The student's profile is the student's user registration data. It is mainly analysis on the characteristic of the learners, including users' name, sex, date of birth, geography, occupation, and also hobbies. The weblog data reflects the operation of e-learning platforms, including the active numbers, page views, access time, activation rate, and also students' learning path. So the learning behavior data is helpful for statistics analysis of online learning performance, including learning time, learning activities, learning resources, and also examination results. The learning content preference data can be used to analyze the preference of courses or teachers, including browse or collection content, review content, and interactive content. It also can be helpful for pushing the course accurately. As I've mentioned earlier, we have two types of data that we can find in educational technology research. The first one is quantitative data, and this is the second one, the qualitative data. We can find a qualitative data if researchers look into students' interaction pattern, students' learning process, students' thinking, students' navigation in e-learning or online learning medium, students' posts in Facebook, students' posts in online forum or chat room, and also students' reflection in blog or website. This is another interesting figure. If you look in this table, table 4, distribution of data collection instruments according to the journals. Okay, this is the type of instruments that researchers in educational technology field often use to collect their data. Alright, so if we look here, there are a few journals, okay, like AJET, Australian Journal of Educational Technology. They have also data from BJET, British Journal of Educational Technology, CNE, Computers and Education, ETNS, Educational Technology and Society, and so on. So if we look based on data collection tools, we can conclude that most of the researchers across different journals, these are all impact factor journals, if I can say, okay, most of them opt to use questionnaire, either open-ended questionnaire, multiple choice questionnaire, Likert scale type of questionnaires, or others they opt to use this kind of instruments to collect their data. Alright, apart from questionnaires, they also use achievement tests, either open-ended achievement tests, multiple choice, or others. They often use this type of instruments to collect data. Besides that, they also conduct observation, okay, and also they also use interview, either structured, unstructured, or semi-structured interviews. Okay, I think that's all for this topic, but we have another part. Okay, thank you for listening. So see you in part 2.